effects and all definition, we are going to understand some of the units which we use for measuring force. First of all, we have SI unit, which is a standard unit of our system. In this, we use the name of one of the very famous scientists, Sir Isaac Newton. He did so many discoveries, he propagated so many laws for us, and that only we have to study. These all are the laws propagated by Sir Isaac Newton only. So, on his name, we give the SI unit Newton. Capital N is the symbol of that. What is the definition of 1 Newton? That will come to know when we will study about the second law of motion. Right now, the SI unit we have to understand is Newton. Other system is their CGS system, which we call centimeter gram second system. There we also use this system called dyne. Dyne is another system. In another system we use this unit. Then one of the unit is also used in the world of gravitational unit. Now gravitational unit means somewhere gravitational force is responsible for that. So generally we go for kilogram force, that is kgf, or gf, that is gram force. Kgf is the force applied by the earth on any object of mass 1 kilogram. So that is called 1 kilogram force, and 1 gram force by name itself, the force applied by the earth on any object of how much mass? 1 gram. So that is called gram force. Somewhere it is written kilogram weight or gram weight also, because the earth pull is also known as weight. So there are different systems in which we measure the force, but the most important one is SI, and that is Newton. Now we are going to understand about the types of forces which exist in nature. We cannot right now talk about all types of forces present in nature, but some of the forces which you can observe in your life, that we are going to understand. Now the type of the force is broadly categorized under 2 categories: contact and non-contact forces. By name itself it's clear that when the force needs a contact on the object on which it has to be applied. Without contact we cannot apply our force to, or any type of force to that particular body or object. So wherever there is a physical contact is required for the force to be bring change, that is called contact force. And wherever without touching the object, then also the force can be applied on that object, then it is called non-contact force. Now some examples of contact forces which we have studied in the previous classes also. Muscular force, I have written, the responsible factor is muscles, means the force in which we use our muscles, or any animal like cheetah catches its prey with the help of muscular force only. The bullock drags the cart, pulls the cart with the help of muscular force only. So wherever muscles kind of thing is involved, that we call muscular force. Then frictional force, this force exists in nature which always opposes the motion of the object, and this is due to interlocking of the irregularities which you have studied in class 8 standard also. So this also requires a contact. Without contact it cannot be applied. Then mechanical force, this force is applied to the machines like an engine of your car or the bike, that applies mechanical force, and that also is applied when they are interconnected with each other. Without connection, without contact, it cannot be applied. So these are the examples of contact forces. And what about non-contact forces, which can be applied from a distance? So that is gravitational pull. Like if I will release this pen, what will happen to it? Obviously it is going to be downward towards center. Now what is applying force on this pen? Marker, the earth. Now earth, it is not in the contact of earth, it is in the air. Then also whenever I will release, it will be pull it down by the earth. That means here it is acting without touching it. So that is the example of gravitational force, and the responsible factor is mass. We will study about gravitational force in the detail when the chapter will start about that. Gravitation chapter is there. Then what about electrostatic force? That responsible factor is charge. In nature we observe that sometime you have observed in your life the charge is there. Like in the childhood days when you rub your comb with your dry hair and bring the comb close to the small piece of paper, what happened? What happens? It start attracting the bits of paper. This attraction is due to charge present on the comb. So there are various examples where you can feel the presence of the charge. Sometimes you bring your hand close to your screen of your television. You will see that the hairs on your hand are being pulled. That is the example of presence of charge. So wherever due to charge force is there, we call it electrostatic force. So this is the electrostatic force. Then magnetic, by name itself is showing somewhere magnet is used. So the responsible factor is magnetism, magnet. So magnet also applies a force from a distance. You could have observed that you bring a nail close to it, not in touch. When you bring close to it, you will see that the magnet is attracting that piece of needle or anything which you are bringing close to it, iron piece. That means it is being applied from a distance. So magnetic force is also a type of non-contact forces. So these are some of the examples of force which present in nature. There are other forces also which we cannot discuss right now, but there are other forces also in the nature. Now, after getting knowledge of these all definition, effects, units and types, now we are going to understand what is resultant force. Okay? Resultant force. By name itself, what is the result? Final result. What was that? That we are going to understand for force also. Now, before starting this, I want to add one fact about force. That force is a vector quantity. Means it will have magnitude as well as direction also. So that means while dealing with the force, you have to take care of the direction as well. Magnitude of force is important. Then with addition to this magnitude of force, the direction of force is also very much important. And on the basis of that, we are going to understand the terminology resultant force, and on the basis of resultant force we will decide whether it's a balanced situation or unbalanced situation. Okay, and for that we are going to understand one. Now, to understand this situation of resultant force means when any object, two or more than two forces are acting. Then finally, what value of force is experienced by the object, that value of force is called resultant force. So according to our previous class knowledge and the previous chapter knowledge, suppose an object is there on which this side, suppose 50 Newton force is being applied, and in the same direction suppose 20 Newton force is being applied. Now our question is, what is the value of resultant force on this object? Now first of all, if the question is asking about what is resultant force, that means resultant force means we have to calculate that how much finally the force is being applied on the object by these two forces. So according to vector notation, if the two vector quantities are in the same direction, so they will get added. So now if I talk about resultant force on any object, since they are in the same direction, so I will add 50 plus 20, and that means finally 70 Newton force is being experienced by this object, because this 50 and 20 Newtons are acting in the same direction. So finally they are getting added, and now the value of 70 Newton is produced on that object. So this is showing the value on which the force is being by which the object is experiencing a force. Now by this force it will be drag. In which direction also? So obviously the both have this direction. So it will be, with the value of 70 Newton, will be dragged, will come to motion in this direction. Now suppose if this 20 Newton comes and being applied opposite to this 50 Newton. Now this body will no longer experience the value of 70 Newton force. then what will it observe? Now it will observe only 30 Newton. How come 30 Newton? How come the resultant force will be 30 Newton? Now in this situation, suppose this was R1, this is R2, then another situation here. Here, if the 50 is taken positive, according suppose to number system, then 20 will be taken minus 20 and finally it will experience 30 Newton. So now this time the object will be pulled by only 30 Newton magnitude, but obviously in which direction? The question is there, either 20 Newton side or 50 Newton side. Obviously the bigger force will have the dominance over it, so it will drag the object by 30 Newton value. Why not 50 Newton? Because the 20 is being cancelled, but whatever 30 Newton is left, that is the resultant force, and by with the value of this 30 Newton, it will be dragged to this side. Suppose 50 Newton was this side and 20 Newton was that side, then what will happen? Then also 30 Newton will develop, but now the object will be dragged to this side. So whichever direction the force will have higher magnitude, it will be dragged in that direction. So this force which is finally being developed on that object is called resultant force. Now I have described about balanced situation and unbalanced situation. Now these all are example of unbalanced situation. Means when two or more than two forces act on a body and the value of force developed, that means resultant force is other than 0 Newton. That means the forces are unbalanced. Like in this situation, previous situation it was 70, now it is 30. So in both the situation, its value, the resultant value is coming other than 0. So it will be a situation of unbalanced force. Then what about balanced force? Suppose a person is being pulled by 100 Newton this side and this side 80 Newton by any person, or another force by 20 Newton. Now in this situation, if you calculate the value of resultant force, what will be there? 100 minus 80 minus 20. And finally what will come the calculation? 0 Newton. Now how come 100 minus 80 minus 20? Because suppose this side is taken positive, then all the forces which are acting opposite to it will be taken negative. So now minus 80 minus 20. Finally 100 minus 100, what will come? 0 Newton. So whenever we observe that there are so many forces, but by their magnitude they are being applied in such a way that they are cancelling each other and finally the value is coming 0 Newton. So this is the resultant force, no doubt, but now this is the situation of balanced resultant force. Means now the forces have been balanced by each other. So when two or more than two forces act on a body and the resultant force is 0 Newton, then it is called balance. So this is the situation of balanced force, and whenever it is other than 0 in value, other than 0 in Newton, then we call it situation of unbalanced force. And in nature, in our life, both type of forces are needed. Balanced force is also somewhere needed, unbalanced force is also somewhere needed. Like suppose I am holding this marker, it is not moving. That means here the total value of force is 0. How come it has 0? Do you think that no force is acting on it? There are two forces acting on it right now. One, obviously the gravitational force of the earth, which is trying to pull the pen down. Then why is it not going down? Because by the same value I am applying muscular force in the upward direction, and that's why it is at the rest situation. So now the forces are being balanced. Okay, but if I release it, then also the gravitational force is there and then air friction is also there. In that situation, it is also force is being applied, resultant force is there. But since the gravitational pull is larger than the air friction, then it is finally moving towards Earth. So here the sum value of resultant force is there, but it is unbalanced now because it's now moving. So that is the situation. So there are various other facts also related to force. So for today's class, this much is only. Thank you. Have a good day.